okay. And we're gonna pray that everything works and stays where it's supposed to be. That's usually very important in life.
Yep.
Well, with that, welcome to episode 43 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson, as pretty much always now. You've kind of been on the show week in and week out for the past...
You're
since
stuck with me.
Yeah, since the, new year, so that's pretty awesome, I say. You're like... I didn't even ask you to do that. You're just like, well, I guess I'm here, so I'm just gonna show up.
I just don't do things on Friday nights.
It's okay.
I'm too tired to do anything else but sit in a chair and only talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
If you ask me to do more activity,
whoa,
I don't know. It gets riskier.
Exactly. Yeah, my roommate went out to go get some drinks, and she was like, do you want to come with us? And I was like, no, I have stuff to do with the podcast, because they were like, because we're not going to come back, so I would have had to figure out a ride to get back here and all of that stuff, and my plan was to watch more of the Green Lantern animated series that we've been watching for the review show, which you all can go get at thewhatnauts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts or on our YouTube page. And I made myself a pizza, and I ate almost all of that pizza because I am a fat ass, and I got through 2 episodes, and then I was sitting there just like,
yeah, me too. That's also what I did today. I came home after work.
I was so tired.
I came home after work, I became just a couch pile, and I watched 2 Green Lanterns and felt very, very drowsy.
I took a 2-hour nap.
It's 7 p.m.
Yeah.
You have to go make dinner and podcast. Get up.
Yeah. So I was not feeling awake, and now it did your big thing.
Okay.
Again. The thing is, I feel like I know a fix, but to enable the fix, I have to spend a bunch of time doing all of that, and we're already live right now. So, and now you're back to normal. So,
I'll be the size I'll be.
We figured it out so that it is your internet, but it's not something that you are able to fix or do. It's just, sometimes your internet isn't as consistent, or it doesn't, which is fine, it happens. But
I bought the second best router that Best Buy had.
That's also the, talk of the town in the, video game world right now is that a lot of people don't have the same internet speeds that, the coasts have, New York or San Francisco and stuff like that. And that internet in the rural Midwest is actually really, really bad. So I mean, you're in Missouri. I don't know exactly where in Missouri, and I know you've mentioned St. Louis,
the big one.
The big one. So you guys probably have the best internet of the state.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that is. I think at one point you sent me what your upload and download speeds were, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that's that's about. I feel like that's about normal for average American. And then there's me. I'm on the East Coast in Richmond, and I have the gigabit connection, so it's lightning fast, and it would all work if I had a decent computer, but I don't actually have a good computer.
I'm sure we're on our way to tackling good big internet out here.
One day.
We're just too busy playing baseball and, frying up raviolis.
Yeah. I just we're still having to fix things. When I started the stream, I was putting together all of the solo stuff so I can be like, bam, hey, it's me, I have something important to say, and then I can go to Melissa, and she's like way too big right now, so she's in the like bottom corner, and it's like, why is this happening?
Me down here.
So we are having some problems, but that is a-okay. We will get by. We'll make do for now. So this video episode might not be the best of things happening right now, but let's start talking about some stuff. Speaking of technology and all of that,
yes.
I've been on a cyberpunk kick recently. Cyberpunk is one of my favorite like genres and aesthetics, if that makes sense. So I was like, I want to watch some more like cyberpunk anime and stuff like that. So I recently went back and I watched the first Ghost in the Shell movie, which is fantastic. And then I've been recently watching Bubblegum Crisis, which I hadn't seen until now. It's a classic kind of crime cyberpunk mecha anime.
I know the name.
And yeah, it's one that I've heard of a bunch of times, never really knew exactly what it was. I was just like, I'm just gonna cross that one off my list. And it's oddly a lot of fun. It's very dated, and I don't know if it's like the best of shows that I can honestly be like, yeah, you all should go watch this, unless you're super into like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's this like weird mix of like Blade Runner and RoboCop and like a crime noir show.
Okay.
And then yeah, so like the city they're in is Mega Tokyo, and it's all, it looks exactly like Blade Runner. It's super neon. There's a bunch of tall buildings and stuff like that.
I do like those.
And everything is just super dark. And then there's this team of, I guess, crime fighters is what you would describe it as.
Sure.
Called the Night Sabers, and it's this Power Rangers / Sailor Moon-esque team. It's this team of like 4 women that all wear these like mecha suits.
Yes.
But they're like they're almost like body tight. So they're not like big hulking Gundams as tall as a building. It's almost like an Iron Man like suit.
Yes, I remember like the ad for VHS tapes or DVDs of the show in the old anime magazines I had as a preteen.
But they never really explain it, of just like who they are or why they're showing this. It just starts and it's a thing. It's like, sure. Oh,
just like the Night Sabers in your town.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you don't have the Night Sabers, do you really have good internet if you don't have the Night Sabers? You know what I mean? But yeah, they just start and they're like protecting the city against boomers, which are these like robots that have gone. I mean, they're all called boomers, but they protect the city against the rogue ones. It's basically just a bunch of robots that are humanoid that have like taken over menial jobs and stuff like that. And every now and again, some of them go crazy and start killing people and stuff like that. And so they have to be there to fight them and stuff like that. But they're also humanoid, and some of the newer ones you can't really tell if it's a boomer or a human until you start talking to them and stuff like that.
You have to do that void conf test.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that, is this guy the CEO of this company? Oh my god, no, he's a boomer. What in the world? We need to stop him. Blah blah blah. But it's oddly a lot of fun for a show that's overall not so great.
Can you name me a cyberpump?
A cyberpump.
Can you name me a cyberpunk that is not an anime or Blade Runner? Because I'm trying to think of any other examples,
Oh,
and I'm
goodness.
coming up dry so far.
It is very hard. I mean, there's obviously been adaptions now. Like, there was the new Ghost in the Shell movie with Scarlett Johansson. Let's see. Well, what else? Off the top of my head, what else is there? There's elements in Star Wars from time to time. It's weird because I've heard cyberpunk described as a genre, and I've also heard it described more as an aesthetic. Like there needs to be certain things happening.
See, that's what I
or
think.
It needs to look a certain way to be it, but it's not necessarily a genre per se.
Yeah, like I don't know if I understand the aesthetic of cyberpunk very well, but I don't know if that has story elements that always go along with it. Like a space opera, for example,
you'll see
you can
more often than not.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I mean, there's probably a corrupt government, probably some young ruffians,
probably robots, probably society is run by computers.
Yeah.
Or technology is like a prevailing theme, and like our relationship to technology, stuff like that. And it's usually in not post-apocalyptic, but the city or something is so big it's often like run down and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of mentioned Star Wars, because if you go into the like seedy underbelly type of stuff, yeah, there's like neon signs and technology and like big metal doors and on all these shops that look rusted and stuff like that, and people are walking around with what looks to be like virtual reality stuff on, and
I watched Akira recently, and that feels like it's just a couple, like 1 decade behind becoming cyberpunk, probably.
Akira would be cyberpunk. It doesn't really focus on a lot.
It's not
focuses
super
more
duper tacky.
On, like the nuclear fallout and the superpower stuff.
It's got that city vibe to it.
Exactly, and the whole motorcycle chase scenes and stuff like that, where their tail lights are like dragging behind them. That's really cyberpunk. So
I'm not big on dystopias, but I do like neon lights and very tall buildings.
Good.
So that's
good,
what I
clean
like to
family
see.
Fun. But yeah, so I've been watching that, and I've been oddly impressed. Not because it's a good show, but because it's just like they just every now and then it has some like really, really cool looking scene, or it just has like a really cool moment. And yeah, like that's the thing. I'm like, this is really neat. That's why I'm watching it. But then the rest of the time, I'm just like, this is absolutely terrible. This is so boring. So I'm even watching one of the spin-offs.
Bubblegum Crisis 2049.
I haven't seen that one
like
yet.
That?
That's a remake of the show, so it's a newer one. So I went back and I watched the original, and then I'm 2/3 of the way through Bubblegum Crash, which is how the end of that show was supposed to go. Apparently there were 2 production companies making that show, and basically it was a bad divorce. And so they basically stopped the show. They had already started a spinoff, and the spinoff only got 3 episodes in, and then they stopped that. And then it was like one company like continued the show. The other one was like, all right, well, we'll make what the ending was supposed to be, So it was just like, oh my god, this is not good. But yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot. Have you been outside of the Green Lantern stuff? Have you been watching anything lately? Any movies, TV shows?
No. I don't. This is the same thing we go over every week, Kyle. I do not have spare time built into my life anymore.
Some days you just gotta do what you feel like, though, right? Where, like, I came home, I was like, I just need to take a nap. And I did. Some nights I'm just like, I just need to watch a movie. And I'll watch some random movie. Or, like, I'm really in the mood for something cyberpunk. I'm gonna watch something cyberpunk.
Mostly I watch YouTube videos, which feels like a cheap answer. And like people at work will do this all the time. They're like, oh, I'm watching this show. And oh, if you like that, you should watch this. I'm like, I watch videos where people are like, I bought a wedding dress for $30 from a weird website. I'm gonna try it on and tell you what happens.
And you'll never guess what happens. Find out by clicking here.
Not clickbaity, but just like vloggers trying like weird experiments.
Yeah. No, I
watch.
I know what that's like.
That's my favorite genre of thing, like mundane adventures.
Do you have ones that you like? Are there certain creators that you watch more often than? Who are you subscribed to on YouTube?
I've been watching a lot of Sophia Nygaard lately, who's been very big for a while, but I just stumbled into like in the last month or so, and I don't know how I did that. I'm watching a channel called Simply Nail Logical that is about nail art, but also it's just this woman goofing around. And that's the description for every channel. It's this, but they're goofing around.
And that's doing what we want.
And that's such a hard thing to describe to people. Like one of my very favorite number one YouTube channel is Brutal Moose. And he has a series. Yes, yeah. He started out doing like video game reviews. He's been doing this for years. He did video game reviews and like, oh, I found this weird VHS tape in a Goodwill. It's some cheesy old movie. I'm going to riff on it. And then in one episode, I think he started with kid cuisine TV dinners. It's like, I bought 3 kid cuisine TV dinners. I'm going to eat them and rank them and review them. And that started him doing this series called Brutal Foods, where he cooks like frozen foods like that and reviews them, or he finds like an odd recipe and tries to make it himself, not knowing how to cook. And it's not like he's trying to fail on purpose, like he just doesn't know. And it's just him sort of like haplessly trying his best around the kitchen. And what really sells it is that he's an incredible editor. Again, this is stuff that like I can't explain to somebody. Like he cooks, but he's not bad at it. But he's not so bad at it that it's obviously comedic.
He's a fun personality to watch.
Yeah, he's super chill, and like I can't describe like the editing, the way he technically puts his videos together. Like he talks with his hands a lot, and so he will put like, I don't know, a stock photo of like a ninja, like a cropped out iStock photo of a ninja that will slowly rise up from the bottom of the screen. And it's timed exactly so that like when he slaps his hand just because he's talking, he hits the ninja and like the ninja, like, you know, flies off the screen with a sound effect. Like he films himself in his kitchen for a couple hours and then he dumps it all in his editing program. Like, okay, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And so when my coworkers are like, you know, I checked out Russian Doll, I'm like, well, I watched the man badly make food.
Have you heard of Oreo Oration?
No.
Kind of funny.
I
know that I've mentioned kind of funny to you before.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, you can come say hi.
Yes. Oh, a surprise.
Can I make a debut?
You can make a debut.
Sure?
Come on, yeah. Hello, this is my roommate Kelly.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
She's asking how are you.
I'm good. I'm just, bugging a roommate.
Oh,
Being annoying.
good.
Paula's in your room for now.
All right, cool.
But you can let him out because we're leaving.
All right,
I'll
cool.
be back in the morning though.
Have fun.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So cool.
Oreo oration.
She's so cute. I made a new friend.
Yeah. You should check it out. So I've mentioned kind of funny a number of times I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. I
Always.
think I have a pizza stain on it somewhere around here. It's great. But one of the things they did is they got their start by reviewing Oreos. And they would just get different kinds
like
of
Yes.
Oreos and review them. And that was a thing they did for a while, and then they launched more shows and kind of moved on. Now, Kind of Funny is its own company, and this is what they do for a living. And yeah, like this is their full-time jobs. That's what they do. They make podcasts and videos and stuff like that. And they ran a fundraising campaign in January of 2019, this year, just a couple months ago, and all of their, like, they had a certain number of money that they wanted to reach, and then they had all of their stretch goals and stuff like that. And one of the things was if they got past a certain amount, they would bring back Oreo oration and stuff like that. So they hit that mark, and they started filming new episodes of that. So you should definitely check it out if you can find it online.
No, that does sound like my kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love just
exactly
taking
that.
everyday things and like how much entertainment and like real thought can we pull out of this everyday thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's see here. I am trying to fix your camera again because it is like super small and does not want to stay on the screen. I don't know why. Anyways, we'll deal with that another time. So for now, if you're on the video show, Melissa's hiding in the corner.
Hi. There he is.
Yeah, but that would be something you like. Have you heard of what was it I just saw? I haven't gotten into them, but they were on a number of Rooster Teeth podcasts recently. Have you heard of Good Mythical Morning?
Yes, I do watch them too.
I think you mentioned them to me once, and I didn't realize it until this moment right now. Yeah, so I Rhett and Link were on Always Open and the Rooster Teeth podcast, and I listened to both of those shows, and they're hilarious.
They're very charming, yes.
I've checked out one of their more recent videos. I wasn't really into it. They were doing some kind of game, something, and I was like, all right, this doesn't seem like something that I would be into. But it, they were on it. They're so funny. I was
like
super
them. And they do
impressed by them.
They do a little bit of everything. Like they do a lot of food challenge videos, like eating stuff. Like we got the little bagged chocolate chip cookie you can get at the counter of like every fast food and casual restaurant, and we're gonna taste and rank them.
Yeah,
I like weirdly numerical things like this.
Yeah,
it's so entertaining to me every time. It's like, oh, okay. All right, so that place is the best cookie.
I need to show you another one of the Kind of Funny shows. It's one of their newer ones. It's KFAF. And I know right now, yeah, it's literally that. And when they were first making it, they were just like, we don't know what the show's going to be yet, so it's just going to be KFAF. But it's kind of their like nonsense morning show.
That stands for kind of funny. I thought it stood for Kentucky Fried, and I thought you were describing to me a show where these guys
Just rank all the Kentucky
it was
Fried stuff.
exclusively about KFC. That's what I thought you were talking about. I'm
No.
like, that's a really good name for like a fast food podcast. KFC.
Well, speaking of fast food,
Yes!
it used to be the kind of funny morning show, and then they divided their
Yes.
morning show up into like 5 different shows, where they have one show now that only focuses on like TV and movie news and stuff like that. They have one which is now the KFAF, which is them just doing stupid stuff. Like there's no point to it. They're just being stupid. And on one of the episodes, they ranked who has the best chicken nuggets of all the fast food spots. And
What did they say?
I forget what they said now, but it's like just this stupid dumb bit of them driving around to all of these places, ordering way too many chicken nuggets and eating all of them, and just being like, "Oh my god, my
So
stomach
many.
hurts so much. I can't eat this. What the hell?"
Oh,
It's fantastic. So I'll have to send you a link to that or something. Let's see here. I was about to type this. That's why I've kind of been looking down here. But I am actually going to shut the stream down because
What?
Melissa, your camera is like just not showing up. Like it's just not there at all.
So it's not like it got so
It's
skinny that
so
I'm like
small.
5 pixels wide.
It's exactly that. It's so small that
What?
you're just like, oh, this is so incredibly small that it's like off screen. So
Ugh.
it just looks like I'm talking to this black void.
No,
right now, which is
I
not-
tried to be big.
Dream
Is
big,
this because
Melissa.
Oh no, this is me. This is because I have one browser tab open with Pinterest in it. And my internet's
Yeah.
like, I can't handle that.
She's obviously Pinterested in something else, not this podcast.
It's from earlier when you were doing all the tech stuff. I have to have something to do.
Yeah. So I think I might shut the stream down, which is unfortunate. So our video episode this week might not be much of a video. But
you can't like replace my video feed with just like a still image of a flower or like
I could
a cupcake.
potentially do that. Speaking of that, I want to talk to you about cupcakes. I have a bone to pick with you.
With me?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to shut the stream down right now because it doesn't really seem to be working out as ideally as we had hoped. If you had been joining us, thank you so much. We will, I guess, see you when we put this up on YouTube, or if you want to check it out as a audio podcast, that would be fantastic. And okay, now we're back. Melissa stopped recording there for a sec because I said, "Oh no, pause everything!" Because when I hit the stop streaming button, it also stopped recording on my end, and so she thought that I was talking to her, so she stopped her thing. We're a mess, but we're back.
I should have waited till you said Kyle says and then followed that
Or,
direction.
hey Melissa, I need you to do this thing instead of me talking to myself out loud. Anyways, speaking of, actually, I was about to say speaking of, but that doesn't really make sense because we
Cupcakes.
moved on. We were about to talk about, you mentioned cupcakes, and it was
Yes.
Pie Day recently. And I said I had a bone
It
to
wa-
pick
yesterday.
with you. I saw your Instagram or Twitter post that you made. So, Melissa, you like to bake. And
Yes.
you have made amazing looking cakes. You are incredibly talented at that, and I can't wait for the day that the Whatnauts finally has like an in-person meetup. Just so
yeah.
I'm sure you'll be like, I brought cupcakes, or I made this thing. And I'm just gonna be like, yes, this is amazing. But you had the idea for Pie Day to make a giant Pop-Tart. The size of a
Yes.
cookie tray.
Yes.
And I saw it and I said, oh no, Melissa, you've gone too far. What have you done, Melissa? Now, don't get me wrong. It looked incredible. It looked realistic. Like, this looked like a Pop-Tart, but the size of me.
The size of a torso.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I obviously did not get to eat any of it, but I'm sure it was fantastic. But the only thing I can think of, there's an episode of Community where Donald Glover's character has a giant chocolate chip cookie, and he's eating this just ginormous, like huge, again, just like the size of me, and he's eating it, and he, like, by the end of the episode, he's just like, oh my god, my stomach hurts so bad, and then he's just like, oh, I get it now. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And it's just like, oh my god, you idiot. And so I'm sitting there like, oh no, Melissa, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Oh no.
Well, I made it for the entire office, and there were like 11 pies in the pie baking competition. Mine didn't even win, which I didn't think it would. I'm like, this is a wild card. Like, I'm not trying to impress you with like flavor or skill. I just want to see if I can put this into reality.
What flavor of Pop-Tart did you make?
I made strawberry because I think that's the most popular flavor, but my personal favorite is cinnamon sugar. But I thought just making a cinnamon sugar filled pie was like too little work. Like, I have to try slightly harder than that, so I made the strawberry.
Okay.
And I even like bought a box and looked at them like, okay, these are what colors the sprinkles are on top. I have to deliberately like color my sugars to be those colors.
Fantastic. Sorry, I had a big gulp of soda in my mouth. Yeah, so, I mean, was it a hit? What did people think?
People liked it. I think they were impressed by the visuals of it. It didn't win.
Yeah.
There were some other good pies, though. And it's always like, I don't know, there are no patterns yet. It's never like, oh, lemon meringue is the key to the office's heart. It's been a different kind of pie from a different person that wins every year. And all you get is like, I
wonder if that's politics, though. Like, oh, Lisa won last year. You can't give it to hers, even though hers is clearly the best. Lisa.
No, it's anonymous voting.
Anonymous voting.
You just write it on a little slip of paper, and our HR manager.
Well, then how do you know that they don't just be like, screw all the votes? Lisa didn't win. We're giving this to Sam. Congratulations, Sam. Sam's like, what? How did I win?
No, our HR manager is too pure to lie. I trust her.
Okay, that makes sense. That works. Yeah, that'd be interesting. We didn't do anything for Pi Day. We didn't even have anything for Pi.
What?
We're not much of a like social let's go and do things together. Like, I always have my headphones in. I always miss when things are supposed to be. So March Madness is starting to happen, all of the college basketball stuff. And the school that I went to and now work for, I think we just had our first game today. I don't remember what the outcome was because I really don't care. But I think a number of employees went to like a nearby pub to go watch the game, and most of them had left, and the like employee that is in the cubicle behind me that is always the one just like, hey, I don't know if you heard, but I'm gonna tell you anyways because you usually have your headphones in. She was like, hey, I think we're gonna go watch the game, and I was just like, oh, yeah, I didn't know that everyone had left. I'll stay here though because I still have a little bit of work to do, but thanks. And then what was really funny is like maybe 15 minutes after she had left, like the building manager, he's not really our janitor, but he's like the all around like security guy, janitor. He fixes things and does all of that stuff. He sent out an email that was like, hey, I set up the conference room so you guys can watch the game. And I was like, I think everyone left to go watch it elsewhere. So I thought that was funny.
That's how our office used to be until our department hired a lot of new people that all are like closer to the same age range and we have similar interests. And then they gave us this chat client and now we just, well, we do our work. We do lots and lots of work, but we also chat with each other all day.
Did I tell you about like our office starting to use Slack?
Yeah.
Did I mention that?
I think so.
Yeah. So like, one person got it, downloaded it, and then was like, "Hey, we should start using this." And I was like, "Thank God, Slack is so much better than Google Chat. This is amazing."
Ugh.
And no one is using it. And so I tried to be like, "Hey, coworkers, if you guys need to message me, you should message me on Slack instead, because this is so much better than Google Chat than what we use right now." And basically the response was like, "Yeah, we're already using Google Chat though." And I was like, "Well then why did you guys make me download Slack?" And they were like, "Well, someone wanted to like make a group where we could all talk about lunches in case we wanted to go out somewhere." I was like, "You can make groups in Google Chat, you idiots!" Like, you didn't even need to download this fucking app. You can turn off notifications in Google Chat, too. If you just... It's like, you guys bought a Ferrari to not use it. Like... Yeah. I was like, uninstall.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. So I train the new people at work. And I got a new trainee like last September, late September, early October. And we bonded really quickly. And after knowing each other for 5 days, she says, "I'm getting married in the spring. You're coming to my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Here's your save the date. I really want you to be there." And we're still like really great friends. We hang out outside of work. We text each other on the weekends. And she texts me this week saying, "Hey, I know this is like a big emotional thing and I'm not good at big emotional things and it's kind of short notice, but I'd really love you to be a bridesmaid at my wedding now."
There you go.
So I got upgraded from attendant to bridesmaid with 2 months left to go.
Wow.
Which is a big, bold move, but I trust her and she knows what she's doing. If there's room for me, there's room for me.
You'll just go with the flow, it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm very honored and very excited. Yeah. I've never been a bridesmaid before. I was a groomsmaid in my older brother's wedding, but that was very different because he was just like, "Well, I want my teenage son and my brother to be in my groom party, and I feel bad leaving my sister out. So just you 3 kids are my groom squad. And I don't have to pay for anything because I was 24. I still lived with my parents. Everything I needed to buy, my parents just bought as part of, well, that's our part of helping with the wedding expenses, is we're going to buy all your kids' stuff. So now I have this wedding. I'm like, oh, I'm a real adult and I have to really buy my own things now.
Yeah. There you go.
And I can't do a half-assed job, Kyle.
Do you know, is there like a certain color scheme or something you have to get a dress for?
I just have to have a navy dress. She's like, it doesn't matter like what length or any shoes or how it looks. Just like get a navy dress. And she's like, it's going to be super casual, so don't freak out. And I trust her. It's going to be super casual, but I know me. I know I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, well, I'm going to have a nice dress. And then I have to have shoes that go with it. Because I have shoes I could wear to a wedding, but I don't have shoes I could wear to be in a wedding.
Like stand up there in front of everyone and
buy a really nice lipstick that's going to last all day. Get a manicure. I know there's going to be so many extra sudden expenses associated with this thing that I have no time to save for. So I am going to cook meals for my mom and she'll give me $20 for a meal I go and cook for her. So I'm gonna slowly stack up the pocket
Yay,
change.
Mom, for
She's
helping out.
My parents are out of town this weekend, so I'm like, I'm gonna go over to your house, because you asked me anyway to like bring your mail in, and I'm gonna make like all the food you need to take to work this week. So when you get back on Sunday night, you don't also have to worry about making tomorrow's lunch. I've got them.
There you
all.
go.
So this is how I'm slowly gonna pinch my pennies on the way to
I
Glamour.
know you do some of those. I forget which one you do. The like Blue Apron kind of thing.
I've done Blue Apron before, but I'm doing
That's the
HelloFresh
one.
right now.
Are you much of a meal prepper besides that though? Like, do you have like I'm gonna take Sunday night and that's where I cook all my food for the rest of the week?
Not occasionally I will be, but I just get tired of the same
That's
thing if I
me
eat it
too.
over and over again. And I'm also like, I don't know what it's Sunday. How do I know what I'm gonna feel
Yeah.
like on Thursday?
I can't really.
And some weeks I'm just
do that.
very
I have to
busy.
kind of mix it up some. I
Yeah, some days.
pretty much eat the same thing for lunches most of the days, but that's also really boring. But then like I come home and like dinner is kind of whatever I want. So
Mhm.
just curious about all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
some weeks. This week I've been incredibly forgetful, and there were 2 days where I got to work, and I'm like, oh dang, I didn't think about lunch at all. So twice this week we just ordered from Noodles and Company.
There you go. I haven't had Noodles and Company in a while.
It's good.
I've only had it a couple times. I'm a really picky eater, so there's things I'm like, well, it sounds good, but then there's like this mixed in and that mixed in, and that just I don't want to deal with that, and and so it's just like, all right, I'll just get the spaghetti, just the spaghetti, the boring old spaghetti.
Oh,
Um,
why even bother?
yeah, and then so that at that point I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? But let's see. So did you hear about James Gunn getting reinstated
I
to
did.
Guardians 3?
I did. That was very
News
good news.
dropped
I played
earlier
it off
today,
cool
and I was like,
when I posted in the
"Yo!"
Discord. I was like, yes, this is good news. I've enjoyed the films, but that's my favorite part of the MCU. It's the Guardians films. I adore them. I think he's made them into something very special. And I can tell there's a lot of genuine personal heart in it. And he seems like a good guy. And he handled like the original firing like very calmly and very politely. And I'm glad they're like, okay, you've done all you can do. Come on back. Finish out this trilogy for us.
If he at this point he shouldn't even have to ask. It should just be a thing. Just give the man a huge raise. Just give the man a butt ton of money. Just we're so sorry. Here, thank you. Here's $2 million more.
Buy whatever songs you want.
Yeah, like that. I mean, that's the weird thing, because he then went to the competition, and he's also signed up to do Suicide Squad 2, which is a great get for DC.
Yeah.
I think he could do some fantastic stuff with Suicide Squad. I've read a lot of old Suicide Squad, post crisis, and I've read I think some of the I think it was some of the New 52 Suicide Squad, and I really didn't like the New 52 Suicide Squad. I thought it was garbage. And then the movie I thought was really bad too. I was like, it is very obvious that people just don't know what to do with this team. And especially with Guardians, like making it as big as they did, they kind of want to make it like that, and it's just like, that's not what the team is. Like that's not. They're not the same.
Yeah, and there's too many of them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's a rotating cast of just like, hey, we have this mission. We're going to get these criminals that are in jail currently because they got nothing else to do, and we can use them for free labor and stuff like that because that's not corrupt. you know, but yeah, it's one of those things where like the movie did the same thing that some of the newer comics did, where it's like we're sending them to go deal with some like world-ending thing. It's like, no, that's what the superheroes are for. These these guys are the Black Ops team that you go in covertly to like topple some government or kill someone that like, well, we can't ask Superman to go kill this guy, even though this guy probably should be dead, but murder also looks bad, so, you know, let's send in some criminals so if they get caught. Yeah, it's like we're doing some real questionable things here, you know. But it's like, no, there's some magical world-ending threat. Does Superman show up? No. Does Batman show up? No. Just like, why? This is not good. But I digress. I was excited to hear about James Gunn. I'm excited to see what Guardians 3 will be, because there was rumors a couple weeks ago that they were still gonna use his script. And it was one of those things, it's like, how are you going to use his script when you fired him? Like, that's just like a shot in the back. And then I guess that it must have leaked out from them having talks to reinstate him or something. And then
I was really... Oh, I had no idea what was going on, and I should have known no news is good news. Like, they're working on it and just taking a weirdly long time to tell anybody... No, it's all back on track.
It seemed like it was just done with.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like a week or two ago, I started to hear rumors of, oh, they're thinking about still using his script. And I was like, that's strange. Like, they kind of just washed their hands of him and was just, they just tossed him to the wolves. It's like, that seems like an odd choice, and then here we get the news. So that makes sense now. It's like, oh, okay. Yes. They weren't just talking about using his script. They were talking about bringing him back completely. That makes sense now.
I've been listening to those soundtracks the last couple of days at work. This is what got me started back on it, is in the new Avengers trailer, Hawkeye has that mohawk. And I look at him, and I'm like, what are we doing with another mohawk, Dad? We already had Yondu. So I'm like, oh yeah, I should go listen to those again. They're great. I listened to the whole thing yesterday, and then today I'm like, what if I just listen to all the Guardians soundtracks again? I was listening to them like, this story has so much emotional weight for me. I'm going to be so sad if it doesn't get a good conclusion like it needs. And thank God, exactly when I needed the news update, there it is.
Yep. Yeah. I'm also wondering if they just were having trouble finding a good script after him. And they were like, this is just not up to par, or this is not working. So who knows? Who knows about that? But speaking of the new Avengers trailer, what did you think of that? That was exciting.
I liked it. I've been watching all of these, but not like there. I know they are showing us like the tip of an iceberg, so I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not like looking real close at anything, because like I have no context. I'm not supposed to have context. I don't want context. It's just a lot of like, oh look, there's my friends.
They're showing a little bit of things. Black Widow's hair is red again.
Yeah.
Like I'm super stoked. I heard one theory about the black and white scenes. This is all just speculation, and it's speculation on stuff that we not kind of know, but have like been speculating for a long time now. The 3 black and white characters was Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And people are thinking that those are the ones that are gonna die. And
it makes sense.
Who knows? We don't know
exactly,
makes sense. But yeah. But those scenes were also the only ones that were in the past. So it just might be that to differentiate, like, hey, this is happening in the past. You know, stuff like that. Who knows? And then Hawkeye. There's the stuff with Hawkeye is the most stuff that they have shown us, I think, without actually showing us stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe to balance out the fact that he
wasn't
mentioned
there,
once in Infinity War, which for good reason. He's like, this hurts my family too much. I'm just gonna go be a dad for a while. So it makes very good sense why he's not in it.
Being a dad, we don't know. Because there's this scene of him in, like, Neo Tokyo or whatever, in his cyberpunk outfit with his Ronin sword and stuff like that. So we don't know if he's on some secret missions. Cause
he goes dark. I don't know.
Which is how Hawkeye started out in the comic. He was a villain at first.
Yeah, that's how he looks. I know that's how he's introduced in Thor, right? Is that he's kind
working
of like
for S.H.I.E.L.D.
an antagonist.
He's working for S.H.I.E.L.D., which S.H.I.E.L.D. is the good guys ish. But yeah, I mean he's just an agent doing his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that the trailer had a lot of him and Black Widow together, because that was one of the strongest parts of the first Avengers, but hasn't had a lot of attention paid to it since then.
A lot of people wanted to know what happened in Budapest.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get to learn it. That's never been one of the big mysteries of this series.
Well, they make continual references to like that one time in Budapest, and both Hawkeye and Black Widow make references to that, and then in the latest Captain Marvel film, we see Nick Fury making references to that.
Oh.
But that might be a little. I don't know if that would be before Hawkeye and Black Widow's time. If they would have been active around that time, but they would have been really young at that point.
Oh, just fresh out of college,
yeah, something like that. Fresh out of the
ready
academy.
To fight crime.
So yeah, I mean that's a weird thing. But did you hear all the stuff about the scene with Hawkeye and the girl that he's with there that's shooting the bow?
I've not heard things yet. No.
Okay. People are hoping that that's a certain character.
Yeah, it's his his buddy.
Kate
What's
Bishop.
her name? Kate. Right, it was Kate something. I'm like,
I was
my brain was trying to think of
like I should just out and say it, like this is what people are thinking.
No. I know exactly who that is. My brain was just trying to think of who's the Kate from the comics, and I could only think of Kate. I could only think of Kate Leth, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. Who's the right Kate? I knew what you were talking about. I completely blanked on what her real name was.
I'm really hoping that's Kate Bishop. We don't know if it is, because we know he has a daughter. We know it's been some time.
Yeah.
So it could be his daughter. But in that scene, there's 3 other people in the background.
Oh, yeah.
One looks like his wife. One looks like a small child, which could also be one of his kids. And then there's another person who I can't tell if it's an adult or if it's a child. But there's like his, or what looks to be like his wife at a picnic table getting the food all set or something, and then the 2 other people in the background are playing ball. Like they have a baseball and mitt. So it like that's one of the things. Like it could be Steve. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be Steve being like, "Hey, we need you back, dude." Or who knows? But I'm really hoping that that's Kate Bishop, because it seems like they are not necessarily setting up, but opening the doors in case they want to do some of these other Marvel characters, like Monica Rambeau, like Kate Bishop, like Cassie Lang, even Amadeus Cho, because his mom was in Ultron.
Oh, I've wondered about that woman for ages, because I really like her in Age of Ultron, and then she kind of disappears, and I didn't know if she was like from the comics or original. Nobody ever talks about her.
It's Amadeus Cho's mother, or at least.
Well, who's Amadeus Cho?
So Amadeus Cho
slower
is he's basically a super genius, but he's a kid. And he also, so he's like super smart, but he also becomes another Hulk. So he's like a younger Hulk. And I think he's also like super smart while he's Hulk.
That's
too.
good.
Like he can still like actually have conversation, and he's not just like Hulk smash, but he's like, well, according to Pythagorean, blah, 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 you know.
Oh, so he's Beast.
More like that, maybe. I don't know. I've not read much with him, but yeah, like it seems like there's hints of just all these younger characters that are out there in the world that eventually grow up and have superpowers or stuff like that. And you know, Peter is still super young, though. I did have a friend bring up a good point. We don't know what they're gonna do after Avengers, like how much Sony is willing to let Marvel use Spider-Man after that, because we know we have a deal. I don't know if we know the exact stuff with the deal, but with how well the Spider-Man movie has done, with how well Venom apparently did. I still haven't seen it, and I've heard mixed reviews.
I saw Venom. Okay, this is
made
the
a
thing about
buttload of
Venom.
money, though, is the thing. Like, it was super successful.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Which means we're getting a sequel, most likely. And then on top of that, with the Into the Spider-Verse, with how well all of that stuff has been going, who knows?
More Spider-Man.
Maybe they'll
more spiders of all kinds.
Yeah, but I mean, they might have the idea like, hey, I guess we kind of know what we're doing now. We don't really need to let you use them. But I say, bottom line,
right.
I say bottom line, they still want that Marvel money, the MCU money.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, we're on the subject. This is the thing about Venom. I did not understand a single thing that was happening, but it's bonkers in an entertaining way. Like Tom Hardy, he goes for it. It's like one of the most entrancing performances I've ever seen. He's ramped like everybody else is. They're doing a good job. They're hitting it like 8s and 9s, and Tom Hardy's like, I'm at 14. Like he's so committed to it. It's delightful to watch for him.
He didn't do as much work to get that movie made as like Ryan Reynolds did Deadpool, but I know he was still like super like gung ho, like, yeah, I want to get this thing made. And we were all like, whatever, dude. And then he made it, and apparently it was super successful, money-wise, financially. So who knows? Who knows what Sony will do? But yeah, that stuff was all super exciting.
Yeah, it's a good time
wait.
for superhero things.
Yeah, I'm stoked. There's a lot of good movies coming out.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I think the next one for us is Shazam?
I believe so. I think that's at the start of April.
Okay. I'm like, it's sometime this spring, and
soon.
I don't remember
it's in
when.
the next like couple weeks here.
Cool.
I don't think premieres or stuff have started yet, because then we would start getting reviews. But they're doing press tours and stuff like that. Zachary Levi was on the Rooster Teeth podcast recently. He did a thing with them, stopped by their studio and got to sit down with them. That is one good-looking dude.
He is, and he's like the perfect choice for that role because he is so handsome, but he's also
just
like
so energetic,
goofy and boyish enough in like just the right amount. He's a very good Shazam.
He looks like he'll do a fantastic job with that. He seemed like he really enjoyed the role, and it was fun watching him on that show. He was good. It made me excited. It's always neat when like whether it's an actor or some kind of creator or just something, when you hear someone you trust, or like I said, like an actor or something like that, talk about something so passionately, and it gets you excited for the thing. That's such an awesome feeling. I've heard people on other podcasts start talking about certain video games that I was just like, I don't really think I'm gonna like this game, and then just hearing their excitement is just like, I kind of want to play this game now. I kind of want to go do the thing.
That's what I love about podcasts, is that you have a free reign to just go real deep on something you're very passionate about, because it's so narrow-casted. It's like, if you're not interested, it's very easy for you to turn this off and go find something else.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I'm going to go as far as I want to go.
Sounds like most of our
and
listeners.
You learn about- yeah, and you learn so much about stuff other people are interested in. Like, I love a comedian named Matt Gorley, and he's fascinated by the James Bond films. So he started a James Bonding podcast. That's what it's called. It's him and another comedian.
I was going to ask if this was the one that you mentioned, James Bonding.
Yeah, this is James Bonding. And they watched every James Bond movie, and there's not that many of them, so the podcast was over fairly soon, and people loved it so much, they're like, bring it back. What if you just talked about every movie again? And then there's another podcaster I love that's like, I love James Bond too. I'm also going to do a James Bond podcast. And I love hearing about James Bond now. I've still only seen a handful of the movies. It's not a priority for me to see them myself, because I love just hearing about them secondhand.
Well, we have the review
from somebody who loves them, but is like, don't act like I haven't considered it, Kyle.
I think once a long time ago, I pitched Dr. No to Paul.
Oh.
It didn't get picked, but yeah. I was like, let's go back. Let's watch the original Bond movie, Dr. No. But who knows?
Okay. That's an idea.
Yeah. Or just like, let's watch all of the Pierce Brosnan ones, or let's watch all of the Sean Connery.
These were things I was considering. Yeah. When I pitched you all the Missions Impossible, those were some of my backups. Like, what if we watched every Brosnan or all the Craigs so far?
Yeah. There you go. That's something to keep in mind for the future.
Yeah.
We kind of got away from talking about DC stuff, but I was going to mention again that we are watching the Green Lantern animated series for an upcoming episode of the review show. And I was looking for it online because I know you have the DVDs.
Yes.
And I don't. I've seen the show before, but I think I watched it streaming somewhere, or I just watched it on some random website. But I was looking around, and of course I was like, oh yeah, there's DC Universe, which is their whole like Comixology Unlimited, Marvel Unlimited, that type of thing. But I guess primarily, like, it has a ton of comics, but it has all of their TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So I looked it up, and yeah, the Green Lantern animated show, is on DC Universe. So I signed up for DC Universe to finally check it out, because it was one of those things that's like, it's another subscription service. I don't want to do this. Everyone and their mom is making a subscription service, and then everyone else has a Patreon. And speaking of which, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us for just $1. We'd love to have your support. And like, it's just, it gets to be a hassle. Like, as much as I can sit here and be like, hey, support us on Patreon. Like, there's so many things that I want to pay for that I can't do everything, and I understand it. But I was like, you know what? It's about time. There's the season 1 of Teen Titans is out. They're, I think, midway through the first season of Doom Patrol on there.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm interested in. I think with the 3rd season of Young Justice is coming real soon, I think. I think by the end of the year, we're going to have that Harley Quinn animated series.
That's
yeah, so like it looks like they're like they have a good schedule, but it was just one of those things that's like, well, signing up at the beginning didn't seem smart because they didn't have anything really except the stuff that already existed, which is still, I mean, still good to have access to that stuff. But it was still like, okay, now that they're starting to have stuff, maybe it's worth it. And I also need to watch this Green Lantern show. So I was like, all right, I'll sign up now. So I signed up for a whole year. And it's not bad. I think if you prepay for a year, it ends up being like $6 and some change a month.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah. So you get access to like all the animated shows, Batman Beyond, because we're gonna be doing that.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
All of that, which I have.
That's where I can find those
DVDs of that, so I don't really need it for that. But still, yeah, like all of that stuff is on there. It's cool. It's cool. It's good.
I had a very pleasant surprise this week. I bundle my Spotify Premium and my Hulu. Okay. I had just Spotify Premium originally for like $10 a month, and they're like, hey, for only $5 more a month, you can get Hulu also. And I'm like, oh, good, I need that for the podcast. And then I was notified this week, hey, we're knocking that $5 off. Now you get both for $10 a month. Which never happens. Nothing ever goes down in price. I was so excited.
It must just be like a thank you for being a customer for so long.
Maybe, yeah.
How
yes, I stuck
how long
around.
have you had Spotify Premium?
Oh, like 7 years.
Oh, yeah, that must be a thank you or something. Like, hey, you're a long time customer. I've seen like student discounts and stuff like that. But it was Christmas, not this past one, but the year before. I convinced my parents to get Spotify as like, hey, it was 2018 then. Like, it's 2018. You guys should get rid of your CDs and just do Spotify. Because when iPods came out and those were the big thing, my parents all got iPods and stuff like that because they had a bunch of CDs. I was like, instead of like having your car and this like 1 CD changer or like a 6 CD changer that you have in the back here, you can just hook up your iPod and have like 3,000 CDs all on this one thing. Like, we can put all like that's the thing. Like, in the 90s and early 2000s, you had CD collections and DVD collections and stuff like that. And a lot of people still have
a DVD collection.
A lot of people still have that. I've noticed myself like wanting to slim that down. Be like, how can I get these digitally now? Do I like do I start a Plex account? Do I start an Amazon account? It's still one of those things I've not necessarily dived into yet, but it's something I'm thinking about. But yeah, it was the thing of like, let me just get you guys interested in Spotify. You guys can basically have all the music at your fingertips, or most of it, and you guys can make playlists, you can make radio stations, you can do all of this stuff. And I convinced them to get a family account. So my dad has his own, like it's all one account, but like my dad has his own thing, my mom has her own thing, and I have mine. So it's like $5 a month for me. So that's something to keep in mind. Convince your family to get one and all chip in or something.
We do share each other's stuff. Like my brother, like my younger brother's on my Netflix with me, my older brother's on Hulu with me. I can use either of their Amazons if I need to. I told them already I'm gonna like sign up for the family Disney Plus account later this year if they have the same profiles feature like other streaming services do. I imagine they
would. That should. It's 2019 now. That should come standard to have a family account.
Hopefully they let us put the whole family on there.
Yeah. But yeah, so I haven't started Titans or Doom Patrol yet. I'm so behind in TV shows. There's a bunch of stuff on Netflix that
You're more advanced than I am. Just like, what if I watched one little YouTube video? What if I watched another one? That's also the trick with it. Like, I've got such small time pockets. It's like, well, I can watch 15 minutes and then the next 7 minutes later of this TV episode. Or I can just watch a 15-minute thing, and later when I have another 15 minutes of time, I will watch another
I watch stuff on
specifically
YouTube
15-minute
as well,
thing.
but it's normally video podcasts. So it's like hour long, hour and a half long. I mean, it's like a TV show, but more like a talk show. That makes sense. Which is weird. Like 10-year-old Kyle being like, "Hey, do you think you're ever gonna like talk shows?" Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Hell no.
Yeah.
But here I am. Like, I like podcasts. I like video podcasts. That should be a thing. And it is a thing. And I watch them all the time. And I'm really sad right now because 4 of the video podcasts that I watch are reverting back to audio only. And I'm super sad. It's all the IGN shows.
Oh.
Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Well, we have been talking for a while. Super long time. I say we wrap things up right there.
Oh boy, yeah.
We've been going for quite a while. Melissa, where can they find you if they want to get more of you and your giant Pop-Tart shenanigans?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
And I am at YoKyleSpringer on both Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with any of our podcasts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. And you guys can always find out more information at thewhatnauts.com. If you like this show or any of our other podcasts, you guys can support us on Patreon with the 10 billion other subscription services that I'm sure you're paying for and just shoveling money into. But we invite you to shovel money into our mouths. That would be fantastic.
Yum, yum, yum.
For just $1 a month, you guys can get all of our episodes early. New episodes of this show, The Captain's Log, usually come out on Mondays, but again, you can get them early on Patreon. At the $3 level, you get any exclusive content that we might do. Right now, we have an exclusive show up from the review show, all about some of the X-Files episodes, and we're going to have another one real soon here about some Batman Beyond stuff. So that should be a lot of fun. And to the people at the $5 level, such as Eric, Sam, and Christine, we thank you guys so much, and you too can get your name thanked on air at the $5 level. It's you guys who keep the lights on, keep us growing and making bigger, better content. But enough about all of that stuff. Go like, share, subscribe, sell your soul. We will see you next week. This has been episode 43. I don't have the thing up anymore. Yes, episode 43 of The Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Adios.
Bye.
What's up, party people? Thank you for watching that episode of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. Sorry that we had so much technical difficulties with that one and didn't really have a video podcast for you this week. But despite that, please go subscribe to our show down in the middle here. We promise you it won't be all that bad with technical difficulties and stuff. Go hit the other videos too, because that would be super helpful. Thank you.